Hello and welcome everyone, Lionheart here with Warrior Sparta and Alex the Rambler.
Hi!
Hello.
And we're here with Warcast Extra!
Why are we
Warcast
here
Extra? We're doing it extra. Warcast Extra. Best Brigade Extra.
Okay, Rambler, thank you. But in case you've been living under a rock, Total War Creative Assembly announced Total War Warhammer. That's Total War Warhammer. Oh, sorry, did we not tell you?
I didn't get the memo.
Oh,
well,
sorry. Yeah, Total Warhammer.
You're not in that group
Should
anymore.
say that's Total War Warhammer, not Total Warhammer.
Warhammer you with Total War.
I've seen so many people in the comments of videos going, why is it not Total Warhammer? Licensing. And also Total War is the kind of, you know, the series, the brand.
Yes.
And also, yeah, I mean, to be fair, if you think, if Sega aren't going to let Creative Assembly change Total War, Games Workshop certainly aren't going to change Warhammer, because they're both very specific about how they have their brand. But anyway, yes, so there's been teasings of a Warhammer-based Total War game for a while now. Creative Assembly actually bought, or rather Sega bought the license and gave it to Creative Assembly back in 2012 when THQ dissolved and their licenses were up for purchase. So we've kind of known or expected.
Did THQ have the original Warhammer one?
They had, yeah, they had Warhammer.
40k.
They had 40k.
Yeah.
Well, that's
they didn't make anything Warhammer.
no. I think they just had the license for Fantasy, or at the same time. That's when THQ were going down. Sega bought the Fantasy license.
I think. Very quickly, the Peter Shirt's tweet made me laugh today. He said, "Bam! Behold, the worst kept secret ever." Total War Warhammer. That's from one of the guys at Creative Assembly. Made me laugh. That did today.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it has been severely scrutinised. Or not scrutinised. It has been quite poorly kept secret, but it has.
There was, yeah. So if you don't know what Ori is referring to, there was a lovely Total War, well, the Art of Total War art book that was released back in January. And I believe a chap in Australia got a copy early for whatever reason, and in that there was an interview with Mike Simpson, who's the creative director over at Creative Assembly, and he said something along the lines of, looking forward to expanding the brand this year with Total War Warhammer, or in the future with Total War Warhammer, and obviously the internet went, oh my god, Total War Warhammer, and obviously yesterday the world went, oh my god, or whenever we put this video up, I assume it's probably going up a day after.
Wait, no, we're in the same day.
We're in the same day? When are we uploading this?
I don't know, probably tomorrow.
Exactly, that's why I said, so yesterday. That's why, because we're pretending.
Yesterday comes, and then
right
today, and then tomorrow,
yeah.
and then...
You do know how time works, Rambler? Have you got it? Sorted. Right, so yesterday, guys, Total War released the Total War Warhammer cinematic trailer. Now, big underline underneath cinematic trailer, no gameplay. Yes. We'll hopefully see some in the coming months when it's ready.
That wasn't gameplay.
Oh god, you're one of those.
Oh,
you don't help gamers, Rambler.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
But yeah, so that was cinematic gameplay, and I'll let Warrior Sparta.
Cinematic gameplay.
Look what you've done to me now. That was cinematic trailer footage, no gameplay. I'll let Warrior Sparta and Rambler chat about what it did to their brains when they watched that.
Well, for me, it was the fact that straight away you could see this is going to be an epic title. Huge scale battles, epic size creatures, and whatever we're going to see. Races are going to be fantastic. And I said earlier on that there is no better company, in my opinion, than Creative Assembly to do a game like this. Really, there isn't. And I think that's where I think they will excel, and they will make it their own. And if you are a huge Warhammer fan, a lot of people are, there are a lot of fantasy fans out there, this sort of genre, this game, I think, will be done justice by Creative Assembly. I really do. And that you could see definitely in the trailer today. I thought it was awesome. Very well done indeed.
Did you like it, Rambler?
Sorry, I thought I had a burp coming.
Oh my god.
Beautiful.
So yeah, I mean the trailer gave a lot of hints as to the kind of the gameplay and stuff that we could expect, especially with the dragons and the kind of the griffins and stuff.
Yeah, you've got.
So having the aerial kind of combat, that could really change the way sieges really are implemented.
Very good point.
You've got the trifecta there, haven't you? You've got land battles, naval battles, and then with Warhammer bringing in aerial battles. technically.
it'd be interesting to see what balancing they have to do for that.
But I
then,
guess that aerial combat will happen on land battles.
yeah.
Yeah, you wouldn't have like.
Oh, could you imagine if like you had dragons swooping in to destroy navies? That would probably be quite OP though.
It could happen. Sweep in, take off the
Well,
sails.
good point you mentioned that, because I've seen some comments already. People saying, "How the hell are they possibly going to balance dragons, or these big, huge
like
monsters
elephants.
and creatures?"
It'd be like elephants, so just swarm through everyone.
Sorry. I don't think a dragon is quite like an elephant.
Oh, yeah, it's
basically an elephant with wings.
Elephant with wings is a dragon.
Yeah. When you watch Game of Thrones, that's exactly what they look like.
Oh.
Big sense.
Okay, so balancing is going to be interesting, but I mean they've already talked about they're going to have hero units as well. Now they'll obviously be more OP than your standard infantry unit or something like that. They'll have special abilities.
Yeah, I when I did my little discussion yesterday, whatever.
Yesterday.
When I uploaded my little video, I was suggesting like maybe instead of having unit abilities or having general abilities, it will be like rather than like stuff like war cry and things like that to lower morale or boost morale, you actually have spells and stuff to kind of swoop down like fireballs to bring out from the sky. You saw that in the trailer with the guy going.
That's got to be implemented as well. That's got to be balanced magic.
Oh my god, Rambler, I didn't know you were an audio engineer. That just sounded exactly like the cinematic.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
so good,
brilliant.
so good.
Oh, CA, hire this guy.
Available for hire.
Anytime, yeah.
Great.
But they've got to balance that as well. The magic as well. It's going to be huge.
Yeah, I mean, well, obviously,
huge.
yeah, it's going to be. I mean, in that sense, it's probably going to be a bit of a nightmare for the coders and designers, sorting all that out. But good luck to them.
Maybe some spells will have like one-off uses in a battle. Or
I guess
like that,
long cooldowns and things like that.
Like barrages in Shogun 2.
Yeah,
have a timer.
And Attila as well. You got barrage as well. But
Have you?
yeah, we can do barrages on the Onigas.
No, I mean in
off map.
Fall of the Samurai. Naval bombardments.
Yeah. Okay, sorry, apologies. But there's also, you think there's talks of musket fire in this as well, is there?
Well, with the kind of the
Empire.
the Empire units, then they might have some kind of muskets and stuff, but it won't be to the same extent.
I should hold my
Empire
hand up,
Total War.
or both hands up, and say I know very, very little about Warhammer Fantasy.
Yeah.
I know about this much more about 40k, but that's about it.
Yeah.
And obviously, we should differentiate that. So if you were thinking, oh my god, Space Marines, Total War, that'll be amazing. Unfortunately for you guys, that's 40k universe. This is fantasy. So this is there is a Warhammer mod for Medieval 2, and it might be worth checking that out. In fact, we'll link it in the description.
Call of Warhammer.
Yeah, Call of Warhammer or something like that. We'll link it in the description of this Warcast Extra podcast, so you can check it out if you can't wait.
Warcast Extra, it's extra. Warcast.
Wasn't time for the jingle, but okay. Thanks, Rambler. Thank you very much.
Oh, look at his face!
Sim, he's happy. That's all good. He's happy doing
Warcast
jingles.
Extra, doing it for the bands.
Oh god.
Can I say as well, there's one thing. We talked about the heroes and the generals.
Warcast Extra.
Rambler, shush. I'll turn your webcam off.
Yeah. We've seen already on the DLCs of Attila the fact that you can have a storyline and you have a particular hero, and then you can create their traits and things like that. I wonder if they'll expand on that.
Well,
you have determination how they become.
I think with this, those that really enjoy like role playing and the building up of your characters' role playing and the kind of that investment in your characters, you'll certainly get that. I mean, obviously hero units. Now, looking at the little fact sheet that was sent round, we've got the valiant Karl Franz, Marshals. Thank you. Marshals of the Men of the Empire. For the Greenskins, you have Grimgor Ironhide. You have High King Thorgrim for the Dwarves. And for the Vampire Counts, you have Manfred von Karstein.
I'm just going to say now, I'll probably play as a Vampire Count.
Nice. I'll take some Dwarves. Sounds fun, I like Dwarves. But also, I should say, there we've actually revealed apparently the 4 races that CA have confirmed are playable
and
in the game.
They said concentrate on races, not factions.
Yeah,
so
they said,
whatever that be.
think races, not factions. So we don't know if they're going to be obviously split into factions within those races, because obviously we were discussing this earlier before we started recording, that my suggestion was that, okay, you'll just have to pick one of the 4 races, you'll load it into the campaign map, and the way that it splits and gives you a different experience with each race each time is that there'll be loads of different ways to customize your race, which technologies you research between. There could be a specific faction technology tree, a specific faction unit tree for loads of different types, because CA have said that with Warhammer they've been focusing on depth rather than width of kind of content, so it looks like there won't be loads of different races.
So they really go into it.
But they'll really, go into... I mean, I think their example was that for skeleton models in Rome 2 and Attila, there's 6. For, say, like, there's a skeleton model for a human, there's a skeleton model for a horse, a dog, and elephant, and things like that. For Warhammer, there's 24.
Well, they'd have to be for the different races. And all the different kind of creatures and stuff that's going to be.
Just totally different to an owl, for example, things like that,
Orcs... You say
and a dragon.
You say an orc and an owl?
Elf.
Oh.
Elf, did you say, not elf?
Oh, because if you said an owl, I mean, orcs and owls are exactly the same,
they
right?
can just transfer the elephant skin over to the dragon one.
No, they can't transfer the elephant one. My God, that's not... No.
Dumbo! Dumbo can be a unit.
So
a hero! A fable
Dumbo!
Hero!
Unit confirmed. Make it happen, guys. We want Dumbo.
Do it!
Oh my God. So, that's quite a talking point, and obviously we'd love to hear your input on that in the comments about races. No, not Dumbo, about races and potential faction availability, because it might seem like it's quite limited, but obviously until we actually see, say, like a campaign faction select screen or something like that on how they're going to be placed on the campaign map, because obviously I can see what you're doing there, Warrior.
No, because he's doing something to me.
Oh, guys. Control yourselves, you're grown men.
Yeah, to be honest.
You need to loosen up a little, man. Kind of just free flow into the banter.
So I can't look at those cameras because I'm reading the fact sheet here. But anyway, pulling it back in.
I'm listening to you.
Railing it back in. I've lost my point. No, I've got it here. So
Advance Brigade. Padding until Lionheart gets a grip.
I'm gonna get on a train and come and hit you. I know where you live, roughly.
No, you don't.
Roughly. I know where you roughly live now. I know the county. It's fine. It can't be that far, right? Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is that if you have just 4 races, we said, if you launch into the campaign map and then you have to look around and, build up from a specific starting point, surely that means there's going to be only 4 starting locations. So there must be a sub-faction picking system within each race, because otherwise the starting locations are going to be really weird. So surely it must mean there's 4 main kind of races or cultures, as we've seen factions grouped into in Rome 2 and Attila, and then you'll pick from there.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Will they have unplayable factions?
I would assume so. There'll be NPC,
like
DLC.
elves and Skaven.
There'll be factions which will become DLC later on.
Now that is a point, guys. There is going to be DLC. This is something we cannot avoid. It's going to happen. DLC will happen with Warhammer. It's just a way that games companies are nowadays. So we'll tell you that now.
Just hopefully both the content in each DLC and timing of it are
That's the big thing.
Are both well put together. And I mean, if they have enough decent content in each of them, I can't see it being taken as badly as other DLCs are often with Total War.
What we've got here is, as we said, we don't know much about the lore of this yet. We don't know much about it, but what we do know, it is very deep, very rich, and so I think Total War
has got the start of a trilogy.
Yeah, and Total War have got loads to go on. So even though we don't know it, I'm sure there's loads of people who do, but they will have loads to go on, so they've got so much they can work from and develop on this game.
Hopefully, though, that makes enough for each of those 3 games. Rambler, I'll let you talk about the trilogy information.
That's it.
That's it. You just okay. Well, I was just going to expand on that a little bit rather than just say it's a trilogy. That it's also been announced that the Total War Warhammer is the first part of a 3-game series focusing, I believe, within the Warhammer Fantasy universe.
God.
I can't get the podcast guys these days. Look at him, he's gone. He's all flushed.
It's warm in here.
But anyway, so it's part of a 3-part game series. Do you want a break? Do you want a little? should we just wait until you've?
No, I'm good. Let's keep going.
Trilogy. Sure? Trilogy, yeah. So with that in mind, they've said it's the first part of a trilogy of Warhammer Fantasy, I assume, based games that they're working with Games Workshop on. And obviously there'll be additional content, aka DLC, which will go with each one. So, I mean, they said that those will, I think, be standalone. So maybe it'll be a case of if your factions that you want to play as aren't in the first game, get the second or third. I don't know really, because it's gonna be, you've got to be kind of careful, because otherwise it feels like you've just locked off a load of factions and a lot of bits to play as just for the second game. I guess
because the tweet that I've seen. It's on the Total War Reddit.
Yep.
Like there's like a little description saying, what is more, this title will go on to combine with 2 further standalone installments and additional content packs to create the largest Total War experience ever, an epic trilogy of titles that will redefine fantasy strategy gaming.
It's going to be interesting to see how that develops.
It's going to be interesting to see what this brings in terms of fan base, how many new players will get to the franchise with this, because this is again.
I mean,
at the moment there isn't a lot of competition for Warhammer games.
Yeah,
is it a big fan base for this game though?
Well, you know, Games Workshop,
Warhammer,
top. But you know, the tabletop game.
Yeah.
It's got a huge audience.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think the last Warhammer game that I actually played was, I can't even remember. I think it's a game from like the early 1990s, maybe 1995. But that was quite fun. It was kind of like a traditional style RTS kind of thing.
So
I can't remember the name of it.
Mark of Chaos or something like that? It was a Mark of Chaos game.
Wasn't that the MMO? Oh yeah, there was an MMO a while ago, wasn't there? Yeah, that's not all around anymore.
It wasn't I swear Mark of Chaos was a RTS style one. There was
Has there actually been an outstanding standout Warhammer game ever?
Oh, Warhammer, Mark of Chaos.
40k wise, it'd be Dawn of War, in my opinion. The Dawn of War, Dawn of War 2.
A real-time tactics game. Oh, 2006.
They tried, Mark of Chaos. I remember playing that. That was okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't played it.
I think Total War have got a real open opportunity here, though, to really stand out with this.
Yeah, I mean, I said in my Attila impressions video that the biggest things that I wanted to see them do in their next title was just take the gloves off and do something different and really, for unfortunately lack of a better word or phrase from Disney, let it go.
Let it go.
Oh God.
Let it go.
You knew that was going to happen. Like,
I was hoping it wouldn't. That's why I paused. I was like, oh.
I haven't seen Frozen actually. I never really want to.
3 times.
Someone's got to.
3 times.
Too many. I can't remember. My girlfriend's sister loves it. So yeah. That's on when I go round.
Let it go.
But yeah, I just wanted to see them really try and do something.
We should do that karaoke sometime.
Oh God.
This Warcast podcast extra has been really difficult to make, but it will get made. And it will stay on Total War Warhammer.
Banter!
Yay! Rambler! Anyway, so yeah, I just really wanted to see them try for something really revolutionary rather than just kind of evolutionary game, you know, kind of Attila from Rome 2 and then whatever comes next. Just something really different, and you can't get much more different from a historical game to a Warhammer fantasy.
No.
So they've got a great opportunity here to implement loads of new features and really take some risks.
Yeah, but the style, obviously Warhammer fantasy, as you say, but the element of what that fantasy is in terms of that warfare, you know what I mean? That warfare is very much what.
I mean, you've got a very much kind of medieval Renaissance.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of feel to it, especially like the Empire, as we talked with their weaponry earlier. So yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how they combine that. Obviously, the one new feature that we do know is going to be quite revolutionary is obviously how they bring in flying creatures, dragons, and magic and things like that. So.
Can I say I'm a little bit nervous about that?
You can.
Yeah,
because I just feel like,
your point's invalidated.
Touching cloth?
No, it's true, though, isn't it? Because you think to yourself, you know, they have had balancing issues before. Could that be an issue in this game? A new sort of explored area before?
Yeah.
You know.
Should also probably mention as well that it's made by a completely different team to that of the historical Total Wars.
Yeah, if you are crying in a corner somewhere because Total War 2 is now dead because they've announced a fancy Total War based game.
Fear not!
Fear not, yes. Creative Assembly have posted, tweeted, messaged to confirm and console those, to say that this is being done by a dedicated Total War Warhammer team. There are still teams working on future titles, and they will be historical ones. They're not going to just abandon the entire fan base.
And today we're going to announce it. No, I'm just kidding.
and to alienate all those veteran players that love, you know, those historical games. I'm sure it's just the next game that we'll most likely see from the kind of the main development team will be Total War Warhammer. What's after that? Well, obviously we're going to get more those other 2 Warhammer games, but we'll probably get another historical Total War in between or at some point.
I know what it is.
No, he doesn't.
I'm very joking.
He has no clue.
I lie. But to be honest with you, who knows? He may already be working on that.
Yeah.
We do not know.
I mean, let's put it this way: if you are you just want the historical game, then Creative Assembly will be, I guess, at some point working on that. But be happy in the fact that maybe they haven't announced whatever the next one historical wise is, because it means they're taking longer with it. We certainly don't want anything rushed out.
Oh.
Oh,
you have a question, Rambler?
You had a thought.
Mods.
Share with the class.
They're not. We're going to be releasing a Steam Workshop. For,
well, we don't know. They haven't said Steam Workshop, have they? They've said
they're not supporting. Yeah, they're not supporting modifications.
Yeah, what they've said is
because
there
wouldn't really be a Steam Workshop.
Well, that's what we would assume, but Creative Assembly haven't. I don't think have outright said there won't be a Steam Workshop.
It's unlikely, though.
Yeah, it is unlikely. Because they have said that because this is a game that they've developed alongside Games Workshop, or they're working with Games Workshop, they won't be able to facilitate modding tools. I assume that's a potential Games Workshop thing. They've said, they just want, their content. I don't know, to be honest. None of us work at Creative Assembly. We don't know, the ins and outs of that deal. But Creative Assembly have said not to expect modding support from Creative Assembly for Total War Warhammer. What that means, though, as Rambler is about to say,
but it will still have the same capabilities of being modded. It's basically still it's being made on the kind of the most updated engine of Total War, so
which is not Warscape.
Experience.
Warscape is a part of the game engine, because I see people always going, "Oh, the Warscape engine's awful. The Warscape engine's terrible." The Warscape engine is the graphics rendering portion of the Total War engine. It's from what I gather, it's called TW3. Which has been the same base engine that we've had since Empire.
So there probably will still be mods, but especially on probably the Total War.
Basically, anything
like
that you can do without official CA mod tools now in Rome and Attila, quite likely to still be able to do that in Total War Warhammer.
Exactly, because I remember I was speaking to Craig a few, last year, and he was saying that you've got the Warscape as a core engine, and they take bits off of it and then add bits on and modify it all the time. So
TW3 allows them to take bits out. It's a very kind of like modular engine, from what I understand. So Warscape is just a part of that engine, which is the graphics side of things. The whole thing as a whole is TW3 for Total War 3 or whatever.
But interesting to see. I remember you mentioned it yesterday on yours, Lionheart. You talked about Windows 10, DirectX 12.
Yeah.
What types of engine could this be a new engine?
Yeah, I mean, just because it's still using TW3, I don't know if TW3 is it incompatible with DirectX 12. I would have thought that part of the engine, again, as it's modular, can be taken out and upgraded or something like that, rather than completely rewriting the whole engine.
I feel it'd have to be, though. I feel it'd have to be for the scale of this. It has to be.
The thing is, for Total War games, DirectX 12 sounds like it could really benefit Total War games, because DirectX 12, from what I understand, improves the kind of communication between CPU and GPU, so processor and graphics card, and should take around about 50%, I think, of the load off the CPU in some cases to work on the GPU. So, especially in CPU-intensive games like Total War, if you have a more powerful GPU, that should really be able to help it out. So, it's going to be interesting if Creative Assembly don't work that into Warhammer. It will be interesting to see when they do decide to deploy that kind of support. So, I mean, engine-wise, yes, essentially we're still on the same engine that we've got with Attila, but it will be the latest iteration of that. So they will have worked on that between Attila and Warhammer.
Definitely. I mean, look at the difference between this and Empire.
Well, they must have done, because there's no way that they could put magic into the current engine without putting a new modular piece in.
And flying objects. Yeah, it's. Yeah, so I mean,
well, actually, no. According to Rambler, apparently it's already in there with elephants.
Oh.
All you need to do is make the elephants float, and then you're cool. Actually, no. There is a slight flying mechanic in Total War already with the birds.
So you're saying get the NPC bird and just expand that model to be a dragon? Or
you've got the Halloween update.
Well, that's a dragon, is it?
Well,
it's the object that's flying.
It's an object that's flying.
Okay, I'll surrender that one. If any CA coders or programmers are watching this, you know who said what.
But
look, I'm just saying, you've got the birds in there. You can just make them go up and down already. So that, that's half the mechanic there.
Alex, you really should you shouldn't be wasting your time on this podcast. You should work at Creative Assembly programming, mate.
I'm free.
I'm pretty sure that is exactly how the programmers would go.
Reinhardt, we all work at Creative Assembly already, don't you know that?
We do.
Yeah.
We're basically freelancers, YouTubers for hire. We get paid millions.
No, we're
every
not.
Year.
Huge disclaimer up on screen right now.
I just work full time just for the lols. Really, I'm just doing
none of us have ever been paid. I have to do this because you guys put us in a hole. I've got to dig it out. I'm digging out.
Who's going to believe that we get paid millions?
We've
got Warrior in his little gremlin hole there.
Exactly. Yeah.
This is just a green screen of like a hovel. I actually live in a mansion. It's fine. None of us are paid or sponsored by Creative Assembly. We're all independent YouTubers that produce our own content when we want, for whichever games we want, and we're not paid to make videos or make this podcast. Although I think someone should pay me to make this podcast at the moment. For these two, yeah. Anyway, where were we?
Brigade, annoying Lionheart.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see what the campaign map will look like, actually. Because
probably the map of Warhammer.
I know that.
Really? It's going to be the fantasy Warhammer game is going to have a map of Warhammer.
No, sorry, it's going to be Lord of the Rings.
Ooh!
Well, that's a good topic as well, actually, to move on to. Segue! Because a lot of people have been saying Warhammer, why not Lord of the Rings?
Could you imagine the license for that?
The cost for that, did you say?
Yeah, the cost of license of it, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the reason why they do Warhammer is obviously because they have the Warhammer license. You can't just, within game development, just go, I really like that fantasy world that Tolkien created, let's just take it and make a game. Because some modders have actually been shut down for other games. There was a Lord of the Rings mod being made for Skyrim, which got shut down because legal reasons.
Well, how did the Third Age get away with then?
They have gone under the radar, I think.
Really?
I think so.
The popularity of that mod, though, is just...
But think of Skyrim versus Total War. So Elder Scrolls versus Total War. Elder Scrolls is on console platform, PC. Total War's just on PC, so that's probably how it stayed under the radar.
They wouldn't have been able to mod Lord of the Rings into the console versions anyway.
No, we're talking about Total War here, not Skyrim.
You're talking about the size of Skyrim compared the knowledge of stuff compared to.
Yeah, I'm just making a point.
Yeah, no,
I'm not trying to turn it into a talk about Skyrim. I'm just making a point.
No, that's true. That's true. I don't know the ins and outs of it, but I still think Elder Scrolls as a platform is still, even on PC, is probably more well known than say Total War.
I would disagree.
Would you?
I don't know. I don't have the stats.
Because the Total War is just such a prolific series for PC. It's been a PC only franchise for the past 15 years. So I would say that Total War might be more well known than the old. Well, actually, on par.
It's tough. I think because it has that console background as well. People and the whole constant back and forth you have between saying, it's better, it looks better on PC or something like that. People will then get a PC version, or they'll be modding PC. They'll get that. But interesting. If anyone has any statistics that they want to share with us, feel free. Because it looks like Rambler's team Total War, and I'm team Elder Scrolls. It would seem on this one. And Warrior, have you got a side?
Sitting in the middle with you.
Like he's gonna sing.
No. So I was just say, clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. Here I am, sitting in the middle. No, I don't know. I probably go for.
Yeah. Basically, at the end of the day, I honestly, I personally have no idea why Third Age is still. I'm happy that it's still, surviving and that it hasn't been taken off, or stopped. Maybe they had issues. I know that there's a mod being made, a Game of Thrones mod being made, Westeros Total War. They had to shift over from.
Banter Brigade, la la la. Oh.
You just see this like shotgun appear from the side of his screen. It's like goes back. I could do that in like After Effects.
Can you edit it in?
I tried to. There we go. He's gone. All
right.
I've been summoned by the bell.
The bell tolls.
Oh, I didn't even hear it.
Oh, right, yeah. That's my buzzer. Because as you know, ladies and gentlemen, I live in a hut. That's my...
Gremlin hole.
Yeah, I get shoved in here. Get food. There's a little outlet in the door where I get shoved food in when I'm ready to eat.
Do you need to leave your hole?
No.
That's good. It's just the buzz. Cool.
There's something I wanted to talk about, but I forgot. Oh, release date.
We
don't know when it is.
No, we don't know that yet. That release date
is
something.
Coming soon was at the end of the trailer.
So, I mean, potentially...
Not too soon.
Yeah. It might. You never know. They might decide to release it around winter time, but I don't know.
If it's a separate team that's been developing it for say 2.5 years,
then it'll be approaching that kind of 3-year window which a lot of games have.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest with you, we know all you know at the moment, guys. And if we can go to any events or have any early access, it'd be fantastic. We will obviously try and share that to you in any appropriate way we can. It'd be awesome to do that. But we don't know yet, literally anything that you don't. So it's all open.
So if you're looking at the previous Total War releases, I'll start from Medieval 2 because Medieval 2 was released in November.
Yep.
Empire was March. Napoleon was February. Rome 2 was September. Shogun 2 was March, and then Attila was February. So it's a bit all over the place. Sometimes mainly earlier in the year, but there have been a couple. Usually before kind of that Christmas window.
Yeah,
you know that where it gets saturated too much in releases.
Before Christmas or after. It's kind of 2 or 3 months before or after Christmas that they normally start looking to release. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I mean. This is a main Total War title. It's not like Attila, which was for many they see it as a standalone expansion, and that had a very quick turnaround rate from when it was announced to.
But don't forget though, because as you say, because it's a separate team. People thinking already this is okay. That's Attila done with. No, Attila has got its own team. Attila will be still producing campaigns and DLCs. And
I think
so
very much Warhammer's quite separate from
very much so
from the historical. I think it's
it's like Arena.
Well, you were doing a lot of hiring a couple of years ago, weren't they?
Yeah.
So maybe they got a lot of team. Yeah.
I think it's really quite looks like quite an isolated thing. They're doing their own thing on Warhammer, and the Attila guys and everyone working on historical based Total Wars will be continuing to work on new content because I mean Attila's only just come out. It came out in February.
Yeah, exactly.
And we've had some DLC for it. We haven't had any campaign
it's
packs.
April now.
I don't know if we're going to get any.
You also had Kingdoms, guys.
Well, yeah, that.
Silence is silence is golden there.
That's in what, closed beta at the minute? Open.
No, it's
open
beta.
beta.
It's open beta.
Open beta at the moment, yeah. But obviously that's a very different kind of game. That's a tablet. Well, so ideally meant to be a tablet and mobile game.
It seems like they're just kind of trying to branch into various different bits and bobs and just kind of expand the Total War franchise.
Yeah, expanding it out and seeing what works, what doesn't. I think Warhammer has the capacity to be, a very successful hit. But
if they do it right, they've got one shot at this.
If they do it right, and if it gets enough time in development, and if it's not too broken up by too much DLC, I think then they'll be onto a good formula there. But I mean, obviously, just talking about again the development quickly. A lot of people are saying, they don't like this annual kind of cycle of release of Total Wars. Now, I guess that it's coming. Call of Duty is often the one that's referred to or referenced
Assassin's
to,
Creed.
or Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, Assassin's Creed.
But then, actually, again, Assassin's Creed is quite a good example because a lot of people slated Unity on release, and then they really slated the announcement of the next Assassin's Creed, which is set in London.
Oh.
But that's being made by a completely different Ubisoft studio, and I think they got quite upset, that other studio, because loads of people were having such a huge go saying it was going to be an awful game even before it came out, because it was being released like less than a year after Unity had come out. But they've been working. I think they came out and said we've been working on this for 3 or 4 years. Obviously they probably share assets and they share upgrades to any engine development and things like that. But yeah, while you're getting a game every year, that game has been being developed over the last 3 to 4 potentially.
FIFA.
Oh god, yeah, FIFA. Good point. But it's very important, though, isn't it? You can see that how a game can affect reputation, because Unity's come out, it had a bad release, so everyone is straight away automatically thinking this new game will have a bad release or is going to have a bad feel to it. And this is where Total War have got to get that right, I think, with Warhammer, because there's a big chance and a big opportunity to.
Many would argue that they've already alienated some of their customers by going for a completely different setting. But I mean,
then they'll get a whole bunch of new customers.
Yeah, but again, at this point, even those that are saying that they're sworn off Total War, not because it's a fantasy setting, but they weren't happy with Rome 2 and they still weren't pleased with Attila, until we see any kind of gameplay, I mean, it could be radically different. I mean, they really could have changed a lot of things.
There could actually be flying elephants.
Hopefully there's not. Unless that's actually a Warhammer Fantasy Unit, in which case I tell that. Maybe the Orcs have got a flying elephant, I don't know.
But you're going to get the cynics out there as well. We saw the post Dave on TWC. Boars of that size should not be riding on those. That
was a lovely sarcasm post.
Oh my god! I love it. I love it. It's great. Don't change. But it's true though. You'll get a lot of enthusiasts here saying different feels to it.
In terms of authenticity, they've really got to be on point with the units and the kind of the art style. But I don't know if this is true, but I once talked to a developer that was working on a Warhammer game, and they said that the relationship with Games Workshop that they had was that Games Workshop were very meticulous about how their IP was represented in their video games. That they at loads of different points they constantly had to be sending back kind of unit models and sketches just to make sure that's what Games Workshop were happy with, and that accurately reflected the units and that they envisioned and created. So if Games Workshop are that kind of, I don't know, lack of a better word, anal about how they're, how much they stipulate, how much they stipulate what a unit has to look like, and then in terms of accuracy, this should be a very true to IP form game.
Yeah, it is a good point. Now, I mean, exactly, and I think they'll get that hopefully right. I think as I say, Games Workshop have put this franchise in a very safe pair of hands in a lot of ways. Creative Assembly. I think they'll do the franchise a lot of justice. I
think it's definitely worth a crack, and I mean, I
exactly.
consider myself
a
veteran of the series, and I'm excited that they're actually trying something different. I mean, a lot of people complain that often it seems like it's the same reskinned copy and paste game with a different setting each year. This won't be. This will be something different. Now, okay, it's not a different historical period that we've not looked at. I know some people want to see China or something like that, but maybe this allows future historical Total War games to be better, and I think that's what you've got to kind of take away from it. If I don't know, let them, if they want to, let them get the crazy out of them in Total War Warhammer, and then get the best bits from that back into those historical games that you as a veteran or a hardcore fan feel that you are owed or entitled to.
Couple of things for me very quickly, is what will be a big challenge for them, and I don't know if this is correct, but it seems to be that this way. Of course, if you're looking at Fantasyland, you compare it to Middle Earth, for example, excuse me, all the different climates they've got to get, all different types of environments they've got to capture on the battle map, on the campaign map. There's got to be different types of zones here, isn't there, as well? So there's got to be a lot of research and a lot of design and resources I'm sure.
The campaign map's going to be quite interesting to see how they actually develop that and transfer it to battle maps.
Yeah.
It sounds like it could be a more focused campaign, like they did with Napoleon, kind of a more story-based one.
Do you reckon? Not a grand size campaign like Rome 2.
Well, it might be, but it might also be. It might be kind of slightly more focused. Where they said they were focusing on depth, not kind of.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I'm not with.
Yeah, and Warhammer has such kind of deep lore that they could create a good kind of story based.
That's it.
Yeah.
And as I say, it's a trilogy as well, so it could be like a trilogy of like one big story.
Yeah.
I don't know. Speculation.
Dun. Well, they've certainly got enough lore.
Useful banter.
They've certainly got enough lore within the Warhammer universe to make, you know, very compelling histories. I mean, that's something that I've seen people challenge others that have commented saying it's not, you know, there's no history in this, it's not going to be interesting. The Warhammer universe is so vast. It's got its own laws, it's got its own races, it's got its own histories, it's, you know, its own past wars that you know, are all kind of remembered in its heroes and its lore. So, you know, it will still have quite an engaging setting, I think.
Don't forget family tree.
Warrior wants his family tree, and I will second that. There's some way of... Well,
orcs.
I've never really liked them, to be honest. I'm glad when they cut that feature from Ram 2.
Just cut his
just cut the camera. Yeah, where's he gone?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
He's gone. He's just gone to black. We'll leave him like that.
Have you actually put me on black?
Yeah, you're back now.
Please don't do that. It's very disrespectful. You wouldn't see me doing that to you. Just saying.
Oh dear. Sarcasm.
You're right there, Rambler.
Bit upset, to be honest. I saw that he did it in the first Warcast as well for a little bit. You've been given too much power.
Next, power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts.
You're going to turn into chaos. You're going to turn it. Oh, that's another feature.
Segue.
That I thought that I was speculating in my little video was that maybe. My mind's gone blank.
Chaos.
Can I help you a bit?
No. Give me a minute.
We'll wait. We'll come back.
No.
News just in. The next Total War game has been announced.
I think I can say something for him.
It's the
Get him started, Warrior.
Oh, no, I remember. Civil War. It relates to Civil War.
Right.
Okay. So, yes. So, where you saw in the trailer, Chaos kind of was born out of that kind of mage. He didn't exactly look particularly evil, but the Chaos kind of erupted into him, or he turned into Chaos, or that was kind of the start of Chaos. So maybe instead of having civil wars in your faction, Chaos can emerge if you're kind of if you take an evil route down to certain paths or something, or if you like the light and dark side, like you have in games like BioWare.
It's like a balance sort of thing.
Yeah, because you refer to this unstoppable force, isn't it? This force.
Your actions will define whether you follow the forces of light or whether you become corrupted by chaos. But obviously that'll have a bonus because you'll get more powerful units, perhaps. But I don't know. It'll be +5 attack and -5 defense or something like that.
What they should keep up.
And it'll change their appearance.
What it should keep in is a tier system, because I think that worked quite well on Attila.
Although I wouldn't mind improvements to that tier system being that you can still recruit lower tier units after you've researched the upgrade for them.
Yeah.
Because I don't like the fact that you can't recruit the lower tier ones. Because if you suddenly want a cheap kind of militia army, you can't do that once you've researched.
You got that. Yeah.
Which is quite annoing. I know there's mods that do that to fix that, so it's quite a simple fix because mods are already out there that do it.
I know it sounds a little bit silly, but maybe not be that. With Medieval and Medieval 2, and maybe bits of Empire as well, we researched something. It really made a difference to units on the battlefield visually and how they act in the battlefield. I don't think that was really apparent much in Rome 2.
Yeah, I mean, in previous it was before Rome 2 and Attila. I think there were a lot more stat-based research changes that you could go for.
Because we could have you could research fire in advance, that sort of a feature,
different
or
firing drills.
Yeah, exactly. Or you could have different sort of types of armor, and that would be cosmetically visual on the battlefield as well.
One thing I would love to see again, which we haven't seen since Medieval 2, is that when you upgrade your troops' armor, the armor changes on the unit on the battlefield because you have different.
That's what they said.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, was it? Okay.
I'm
just saying, I love that feature so much. Like going from having archers with, say, the basic armor, they had no armor, with a cloth. Then you put bronze, which was a bit more like a leather jerkin or something like that. Then silver was like chainmail, and gold was like plate mail. So you'd have plate mail archers. That was just a really nice visual change. And
never had that since, have we?
I want that back.
Flying elephants.
Oh my god.
He's back with the flying elephants. So Rambler really wants flying elephants. If anyone knows if there's anything remotely like a flying elephant in the Warhammer Fantasy universe, then please let us know.
And when you click on them, it could go, "Near the elephant, Trump, Sir Trump."
Or not.
That'd be kind of funny. Someone should make a mod for that, I reckon.
Anyway, I think we pretty much run out of things to chat about because we've rambled through bits with Alex the Rambler and Warrior Sparta in this Warcast Extra, and me, Lionheart. Thank you.
Extra.
X10 doesn't stand for anything.
I know, yeah.
Lionheart times 10.
No,
10 times the Lionheart.
It's not times. It's
3.
just an X. What? Anyway, yes. So Warcast Extra, different from the main Warcast, which you can find the first part of the Warcast episode in the description of all of our videos.
Social media.
Yep, social media. We've got a Warcast Facebook page and a Warcast Twitter. If you want to go on there, and obviously you can suggest topics, guests, and things like that. Obviously, the suggestions for
the
competitions.
Yeah, we've got competitions coming up in a moment. The guests that you guys are suggesting at the moment, they are they're not permanent. They're just for a different one each month when we do the main Warcast podcast. Warcast Extra. If you haven't gathered through this one, is when we focus on a specific topic and ramble on through it. Kind of a bit more of a casual, probably at least 50% more banter from Rambler, and at least 70% more singing all round.
His face.
Sorry, no, I phased out slightly.
He's completely gone. Anyway, up on screen now, guys, you can take a look at the competitions that we've still got running from the main Warcast podcast. The next one will be out within the first week of May. And obviously we'll have a guest joining us there, and we'll be covering a multitude of Total War related topics.
Warhammer again.
We will. If there's anything else that you guys want, discussed about Total War Warhammer related, and obviously if there's any more information that comes to light by then we will obviously talk about that. But
don't forget about the other ones. We've still got the other games.
There are other Total War games besides Total War Warhammer still exist. Yeah. God, that's tongue-tying. Total War Warhammer.
Total War Warhammer. Total War Warhammer. Total War Warhammer. Total War Warhammer. Total War Warhammer.
They brought it back, haven't they? That's a good point to mention.
What?
They brought it back, haven't they?
What?
The Total War before the name.
No, it was Warhammer. It would be no. You're thinking it was previously It would have been Warhammer Total War. Ever since Shogun 2, it's been Total War Warhammer. What are you on, mate?
Total War Attila. Total War Shogun 2. Total War Rome 2. Get your facts straight, man.
Right. I think
Warrior.
it's time.
No, I was directed at Warren, not you.
Yeah. No, I know. I think it's time we rode off into the sunset. But if you have not heard enough of us, then we've also recently messed about on GTA 5 on PC. So in each of our individual Warcast Extra videos, you can find a link to our own montage videos from that adventure. So enjoy. Until next month's Warcast, that's bye from Rambler.
Bye.
It's bye from Warrior Sparta.
Take care, bye guys.
And it's goodbye from me. Goodbye. Bye-bye.
Flying elephants, make it happen.